All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for today's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful as always for each of you being here with us as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals in this Forex market to see what we can take advantage of on this, what is today, June 1st. The year is flying. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. And if you all can hear me loud and clear and you're ready to go, do me a favor, drop me a huge one in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're with me, and we can get this session going. All right. So let's dive in. All right. So got some pretty important data coming out this morning. With the eurozone, and we see that the CPI came through under forecast 6.1, 5.3 for the core CPI. So things are still continuing to cool in regards to inflation. But when you click in, we have President Lagarde speak this morning, ECB president. And if you come in and you look at some of the tweets in the live squawks, you can see that ECB President Lagarde says we still have ground to cover on rates, right? Inflation is too high and is set to remain so far too long. Okay. First squawk from through the live squawk, ECB Lagarde, we need to continue our hiking cycle until we are sufficiently confident that inflation is on track to return to our target in a timely manner. So as far as the ECB president is concerned, it's good. Inflation is cooling, but it's still too high. So there's still work to do. So we're looking at June and July. We're probably right. The market is pricing in, I think it was 90+% chance of a 25-point basis hike. I think it's like 75%, 50 basis points. So we'll see how that comes through. So even though these euros are correcting right now, we're starting to see some data showing that inflation is cooling. We are still looking to remain bullish on these euro pairs. So we know a lot of them are in the correction phase right now, establishing potentially a new low price, but then we look for it to move up from there. So when you look at the rest of some of the ECB representatives out here speaking in public, most of them are kind of under the same, are saying the same thing as President Lagarde. But some folks, maybe, are more towards the 25 basis point side as opposed to 50 basis points. So, but at the end of the day, they all pretty much agree that there's still work to do on inflation for the Eurozone. But it's a good thing that we're starting to see some things cool. The other thing was, right, is you still have, right, when you look at the unemployment rate, 6.5% still, right? It came through. So you can see, where was it at? Eurozone jobless rate hits new record low when you adjust the season. So, and then of course your front page, your main front page on trading economics, that Eurozone inflation slows forecast. So still got some work to do there, but it looks like they're heading in the right direction to try to curb inflation. And that was the main thing from this morning. We know later on we've got the private sector jobs, ADP non-farm employment change, unemployment claims. That's going to be an important number coming out for the United States, 8:15 and 8:30. And then we've got ISM PMI manufacturing coming out for the US. So for those who don't know, right, what that is, it's the leading indicator of economic health. Businesses react quickly to market conditions, and their purchasing managers hold perhaps the most current and relevant insight into the company's view of the economy, right? So it's a survey of about 300 purchasing managers, which asks respondents to rate the relative level of business conditions, including employment, production, new orders, prices, supply deliveries, and inventories. Okay, so that's going to be, so actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So we'll watch and see what that comes through. Okay, and then we've got Harker speaking from the Fed today as well. Let me see here. And then Friday, of course, we've got the non-farm payroll numbers. coming out for the United States. So those are going to be key. We know last night that the debt ceiling bill passed the House, and now it's on to the Senate, I believe. So you get a lot of barking back and forth yesterday and into this morning, people agreeing, not agreeing, and whatnot. We just need to get something done. So, yep, politics is not my thing, but it is what it is. So that's where we are. Any questions in regards to anything that fundamentally went on overnight, early this morning so far? All right, and just keep in mind we've got some key data still to come out. All right. Okay. Give me 1 second, everybody. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So let's dive into the charts. Of course, take a look at the DXY. Great. US dollar, world's reserve currency. And we can see that we start to stall out a little bit ahead of the data, right? We're pushing to the downside some on the US dollar. So we'll continue to watch it. That's the look on the 4, right? So it's moved quite a ways, moving sideways. But within this consolidation, right, we've had a low point here. We might be coming right back to retest that. So there at this support on the 4. And this is just ahead of that data. And we all know now that anytime you have major data, fundamentally, a lot of times the market will tend to move sideways. And that's exactly what it's doing, right? So we're pressing down. We've been moving sideways, and we'll see what happens if we get a reaction with the ADP numbers that come out. Sometimes the ADP numbers will fall right in line with the non-farm on Friday, and then sometimes they won't. It'll be the total opposite. So we just have to wait to see what those numbers look like. So that's where we are on the DXY. Here's a look on the 1 hour. So that's moving bearish right now in that range. Okay. So we'll continue to keep an eye out on that. I want to go through, being that it is July 1. I want to just start working our way through some pairs just to look to see if we're all, heading in the same direction on these pairs, to make sure that we're properly aligned. I think that's super duper important. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. We were looking at, before we dive into that, we were looking at the other night. We had took a quick look at that NVIDIA stock. And you can see that here on the 1 hour, right? Doesn't matter, right, what the asset class is. Well, we all know what this represents here, right? It's an 80-20, right? So even when it comes to stocks and other asset classes, it still plays out, right? So that came right up to that 118, 127 zone, and now you see NVIDIA is making a correction to the downside, right? Closing that gap and moving down to the 382. So you would play that, right, the same way, just like anything else, right? If you're kind of trend trading that on NVIDIA, right? It's a 382 target there. Okay. Definitely bullish, but we're in an up retracement zone, and we came into that sweet spot with the 80-20, right? So we'll see if we can continue to get price to move down, right, to a lower price. Okay. So you got your target 1, your target 2 is coming right in at 236 right now. So decent move to the downside on that correction on NVIDIA. And then if we switch over and we move over to Meta, just 2 I've been following, we can see where we're in zone, right? But we're looking pretty strong. It's pretty impulsive. We'll see if it takes out that high. But technically, right, you're in the 80-20 zone here. See if it stalls out and starts to move sideways, or if it's just going to continue. Right. So that's where we are. That's the 4-hour look on Meta, aka Facebook. Right. So that's that. Any questions there?
No.
All right, cool deal. Let's see. Just ahead, we might as well check out some of our commodities here. Right. Look at that gold. All right. We spotted it coming into that 50% level, that daily support, and we're creeping up. Okay, we're creeping up. We know we've got data coming, but so far so good. JC spotted that 80-20 on the 4. We've broken above that trend line, right? Sideways movement, but we're looking bullish this morning off that support level. See if we can get a continuation. This is what we're looking like off of the 1 hour. So in our buy zone, we'll see if it holds. Right? See if it holds. That's a 382 bump there. We'll see if it wants to continue to move long. Right? Stochastics in the buy zone on the 1. So that's where we are on gold so far. See if it continue to make that push. Just a review coming into the month, looking at oil. Right, moving down, right? We look at that daily, right? Okay, down over 11% for the month of May. Hey, it makes sense to us, right? ABCD wave, moving down. We swing into this 1 hour, and we can see that we continue to move bearish, right? That's beautiful price action there. Beautiful price action. Okay, so that's that on oil. And so we're going to start right at the top here and just roll through the charts. Roll through the charts this morning, see what we're looking like as we start out the month. We know the Aussie's been taking a beating, right? So we are moving down, right, to the downside, bearish on these Aussies. Here's the daily fib. Right? We got a double top here in this area. Didn't quite push high enough, right? Didn't push high into the zone, but we moved to the downside. That's okay. That's okay. So we're moving bearish. We're closing in on that 1.618 extension. We may see a correction before that, right? We may see a correction before that because when you look at this 4 hour, this fib, right? See how we got that 50% pullback, right? At that 92.29 weekly level in blue. Look where we ended up at, everybody. 1.618 extension. Okay. So this 4 hour, it'll eventually pop in, but we should have a new fib, right? So our C is our highest level within our AB boundary, and then our D is the first low that forms in this example after the D extension is hit. So we do have a low, so that should. That's our first low. So it'll eventually come in, but that's where we are on that. We've got a new AB boundary on the 4, and then on the 1, we should already be flashing. All right, come out. Yeah, there. So we should already have it on. And we do. So we're starting this push off the AB boundary. Here's that daily 1.618D extension. So it's closing in. So what we want to look out for, is if we don't make this drive now to a higher price to get short, if it turns over at this 236 or where it's at now and pushes down, right, and it hits that daily 1.618D extension, then we'll wait to see if it hits that 80-20 zone and see if we get a monster correction back up once that daily D extension is hit. So we'll see. But so far off that B boundary, if you're playing that type of setup that we went over a week ago, on like the 15, playing the trend line breaks on the 15 or whatnot, then that's already moved up quite a ways off the B boundary if you like to play those setups. So show you guys what I mean again for those who may not know what I'm talking about. So Aussie CAD. The 15-minute. Okay. And if we bring this down, right, we can already see where you've got the reversal, right? So this is our B boundary here, this zone. So if you like those tighter plays, let's see what I have. So we'll come here with our trend line and we'll run it off the high. Like so. We'll just work our way down through the charts. So you see, this thing likes to disappear. So I'll do this. Till I'll find where the next touch is. There we go. Just like that. So this is where we touch next. Boom. This. Then we'll put our next trend line in like that. We can take this black off now. So we're able to find it. Well, extend that. Like so. And that's your swing. Okay. That's price moving up off of that B boundary. So if I was to come to this 1 hour, right? So that little move that looks small on the 1 hour, it's a 40+ pip move. Right? And so if I was to take this fib and just trace over it manually and bring it down, right? So there we go. So that looks like over time. You drop down to your 5-minute or whatnot. You're just zooming in on the price action. That's all you're doing. Smaller waves. Smaller waves. You've already been through multiple cycles. Look, that's clean there. That's a deeper pullback on the 5-minute. Boom. A, B, C, D. It's amazing, right? How the waves work. D, right? We moved it. A, B, C, D. We came right into that 118, just like that. And if we're saying, hey, if we want to, so you've already looking at your 5-minute, you've already made plays where you've taken profit. Boom, there. Here's a deep pull back to an 8.6, 1.18 extension. So smaller setups, you've already taken profit on two waves. Questions?
Benny, just a quick
Yes,
one.
sir. Mm-hmm.
You know the larger fib, was it the daily or the 4 hour? that was brought down to the 5 minutes.
The
1 hour.
Yep, it was the 1 hour.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, this is because this one here, the 4, I went through them kind of fast. My apologies for that. But on the 4, we had a D extension that was here, right? That we've been tracing for a long-term swing for a long time. We've been following that one for a while now. So this D extension was finally hit on the 4. You do have a swing low here, but we know sometimes it takes a minute for that new fit to pop in sometimes for some reason. Didn't used to be like that with it, so I don't know what's going on, but you don't have it on the 4, so we just drew it in manually on the 4 hour. But on the 1, it was already sitting there. It's already activated. So here's that 1 hour ABCD move here. A, B, C, D. And now we've got a new AB boundary. And then this is the swing, right? So these are just prime reaction points, because this is the same thing as saying, I'm looking for a bounce off support, right? You get a support to form. That's what a beat boundary is, support. So think about it. I've gotten an exhaustion with a D extension being hit, right? Or the possibility of an exhaustion. We know sometimes it can run like it ran beyond. And then you form the low of support after that, and you got a reaction. You got buyers coming, right? So we know, hey, it happens here. And then our next zone is that 118, 127 zone that we like to see, right? This would be cool here eventually if we get a shallow retracement. Is you got a daily D extension that'll be hit, and then you've got daily support right in line with that 127, right? So there's all type of plays there, and you got this reaction. So it just depends on what you like to do, right? I know every blue moon I like to venture down if I have time, and make some smaller plays. But that's 2 setups right there. So off your 61.8 pullback here, okay, you hit that 1.618 D extension. This is on a 5-minute chart, right? That's a 33 pip move. If your stop was below the A, you got a 10, 11 pip stop there. This one came in at an 8.6. So depending on how you set it up, for yourself, hey, I enter off to 61.8. Okay, you had some drawdown. Okay, we know as part of my trade plan, I always like to put that order in at the 786 as well. You put your stop below the 8 here. Okay. Cool. Right. But even if you took it just off that 61.8, yep, you had drawdown, but you didn't get stopped out. Okay. That's a very small stop. You didn't get stopped out. And then you moved up, right? Close to 30 pips almost to that extension, 27 pips. And now we're sitting there looking at a new wave, right? We got a new wave going on. So, hey, if I could get it to pull back to my zone, you could play the same game over and over and over again, like this. Right? And you ride it until it fails. That's why you have a stop loss. Right? So if I'm looking to target first at 382, okay, there's your 236. All right, we know it can react at that level, but your traditional 382 target is right here. Okay. So if it wants to make the move to that level at this point, then you're looking at playing these waves, right, for quite a ways. Yeah. So just to that 382, you got 27 pips or so left if you get that pullback on this new fib. I mean, you can have one more wave to this D extension even prior to the 236. So right off a 61.8 move there, right? 47 pips. If you get a pullback to a 61.8 and we take off to that D extension, and all of this is occurring before it even gets to it, takes back 23%. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. Right? So we are now, right, moving long. Like that. So even when things can tend to look small and kind of look chaotic, right? The fibs, right, creates a rhythm to everything. Gives it rhythm, gives it harmony, right? Gives it some additional structure. Like what am I really looking at? What is the market really doing? Like you're looking at this here. If you're just looking at that blindly, you're like, what in the world? When you put the fib on it, right? And you look at it in a whole new light. Okay, so there we go. So we want to see is preferably another A, B, a C type, right? To our D extension. Okay. All right, that's the Aussie CAD just moving along. That's on a 5-minute chart, right? Just to remind everybody. That's on a 5-minute chart. All right. Aussie Swiss. Okay. Please do take a look at it. This is one that's just been moving, right? Been playing it short. Aussies, except for that Aussie yen, Aussie NZD, things like that have been moving to the downside for the most part, selling off. So we're still trying to see if we can get that D extension right. We've got a bit of a choppy pullback right now, but we're shy of that 786, right? So we look for a 1.618 D extension eventually. Right here is the play here on the 1, just closing in, right? That's what it looks like. So far so good. We got a bit of a pullback there, a little consolidation, right? Range bound, but that was the play. Okay, so decent move on the Aussie Swiss swing. Any questions on that?
No.
All right. Ryan, good morning, sir.
Oh, man.
Safe travels, man. I know you're out there on the road this morning.
I appreciate it, man. Should be pulling up in about 30 minutes.
Oh, that's good. So you made good time then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Well, glad to have you on, man. Always good to hear your voice.
Absolutely, man. Glad to be here.
For sure, for sure. Did you catch anything overnight or this morning?
No. Just waiting to see what this next step on the debt ceiling deal is after they got through the house. So
Cool. We'll see. See what happens with that. The usual shenanigans. So yep. All right. Well, man, be safe. Glad you're almost there.
Yes, sir, we'll do.
All right, sure. All right, so let's take a look at this Aussie yen, right? Everything's been bullish against the yen, even the weak Aussie. And we see last night, right? It was kind of hovering around this area, and we've got a low formed, and it's starting to move back to the upside. So we'll see if we can get a continuation on this Aussie yen moving long, right? Hasn't been a smooth ride, but still in play right now on the Aussie yen. So we'll just see how it plays out. Okay. Some of you might not be involved in this move. I don't blame you if you're not. It's been a choppy mess, but that's what we have going on right now. So we've created support, and we'll see if we can continue to get that move to the upside, see if we can catch that extension eventually on the Aussie yen. Any questions on the Aussie yen? No? All right. Wondering why you didn't get into this play. Which play, Brandy? Sorry, I missed that at the which play you talking about? This one or that last one on the Aussie CAD? Oh, the Aussie Swiss to the downside. Yeah, it's all. I was just talking to Ryan yesterday. We talk about a lot of times how we mark things up. I don't know, we get busy or whatnot, or Like we miss entries, right? We forget to go back and set buy limits or sell limits, and we miss entries on setups. Then we get caught trying to wait for pullbacks and things like that. So sometimes you do the work, and just whatever the reason, you don't get involved with it. Hey, you're in the arena. That's what counts. That's what counts. So good job. Aussie NZD. This one, man, is screaming to the upside. This is another one, right? Where look at the weekly. Right? We know the NZD has been a weak performer. So, we know it's long, right? Long against the yen and the NZD. You can see it moving up off that support. It's been a beautiful move. The issue is, right, we're way overbought right now. We're at 98%. The issue is, for me at least, some people may have taken it off the break, trend line break. They can't get a correction. It's just running, right? I was thinking maybe here at this 118, 127 zone, we get, some crown type action once it took out this high, but it's just moving. All right. So that D extension has been hit. And then here on the one, I've got to move off the 382, but I typically don't take moves off the 382, right? Even though, right, you came into, a pretty decent zone there. Typically not my play, right? If it came a little deeper, 50%, right, to retest that as a deeper push, to retest this as past resistance, future support, but didn't make the move. So, it's breaking above that 108.33. So it may just keep running for a minute. So that's just one that I missed on the Aussie NZD. But if it doesn't meet your rules, you can't take the trade. At least that's how I see it. So continue bullish, right? Looking for some type of correction to get involved in this Aussie NZD to the upside eventually. Any questions on the Aussie NZD?
No.
All right. Appreciate it. Aussie dollar. Okay. We know price, right? Aussie's been taking a beating. We know the dollar made a push. Now the dollar's kind of bouncing around. And so is this pair. But when we come into and we look at what's going on, right? We've got a bit of a reversal, right, going on here. On the 4-hour wave, the larger wave, didn't quite get to our buy zone, but right, when we come down to this 1 hour, right, it's trying to make a play. So this one, I haven't been involved in. I know I've got this data coming up today and tomorrow. So we'll see on this, but it's trying to make that push. It's trying. It's trying. So even if this is the 15-minute here play, right? So we're just breaking through that trend line there. Okay, just breaking through that trend line. Okay, hitting that D extension. So once we get that reset, we'll be beyond that trend line. We're looking for a pullback and then maybe a continuation there. If we go down to the 5, right, you can see exactly what's going on, right? The smaller wave, see? Now we almost took out we got that A6 retracement, and now it's just moving up. That's gonna hit that target. So that's where we are on that. But I'll wait to see. Let this data come out. This ADP come out today. See what we're looking like. And then we know we've got non-farm tomorrow. But that's where we are. That's where we are on the Aussie dollar. So I'm just waiting. I'm on the sideline on this one with the dollar news coming up. But it is in the zone and it's reactive. We haven't hit that D extension yet. So if you took it at this level, right, you had your drawdown, but now you're back in profit on that. Let's see what happens. Right, a lot of data. Debt ceiling, you got to get through the Senate. Passed the House last night. ADP and non-farm on Friday. Right, so a lot of things going on with the dollar. Any questions on this pair? Oh, all right,
No.
so appreciate it. So we're at the it's like 60 pips back to that 382 from where it's at now. So that's the Aussie dollar. Let's take a look at the CAD Swissy. See what's going on here. We know long term, right? We know that this has been pressing all-time lows, right, for quite some time. See how it just it'll push below that low, that major low. Okay, so this is your monthly, right? But it's just hovering, right? So I'm thinking eventually that's going to get bullish. And we're starting to slowly but surely. Okay, we've come back up against that, above that previous low, right? And it's taking its time, right? It's ranging. Stochastic is back in the buy zone now, and we haven't gotten a 382 target on the daily, right? So I'm thinking, a continuation long. So you can see we've moved here. We got less than a 382 there, but we're reacting off this 118, 127. So if we go to the 1, this may be a good setup here for us to really pay attention to if we can get price to come back down, especially test the 66.49 level, daily support. If we can get it to move down into that zone and get it to show signs of a reversal, that might be a good entry play for us to try to work our way back to this daily 382, right? 38.2. Everybody follow me on that? Yes, no?
Yes.
All right. I wake up a little bit when I see these major lows being hit, price is struggling to push lower and lower, right? It came right back up above that all-time low there. So that's that daily 382. So maybe we can get that move, especially with the data for Canada coming out, right? We know they had paused rates before, but now we saw, right, inflation creep up a little bit. Some other data is coming out. We know that the oil price is kind of weighing on the CAD right now for the month of May, but we'll continue to watch to see how that plays out. But if we get that low price, might be worth taking a shot to see if we can start to take the ride to that 38.2 long swing, kind of similar to this CAD yen. Right? How, right, it struggled, right? It struggled in the zone. It's pretty much looking at the same thing, right? Struggled in the zone for quite some time, and then it found its momentum and it worked its way all the way to that 382. Okay, so CAD yen, we know right now we're looking for pullbacks, right? Pullbacks and continuations, right? That's that daily 382 target here that you see, that blue line right here. Okay, so potential pullback and continuation long eventually on this this CAD yen. So, right, if we get that push down, coming to this weekly level, right? Maybe even your daily level into your zone. And then we see if price wants to reverse out from there. Of course, if we push up, we're at a 236 now. If we push up beyond that beat boundary into the 118, 127 zone, then we know how to play that counter trend. All right. So that's where we are there. Let me look and see on the 4 how this was at 80-20 on the 1. Right, so that kind of falls in line with what we're looking for on the 4, which is a deeper correction. Right, so you can see this way here. We want to see that price head down to the downside. So in your 1 hour, you've already pushed up into that 80-20 zone. Okay, so keep that one on your radar as a possible move and a further correction to the downside. Now that we've reached that daily 382 level. Okay, so that was a good play. It's a good play, and got some other things setting up on them. All right, that's the CAD yen. Of course, let's take a look at it quickly. We looked at this pretty good last night. The Swiss yen here. We came in and we tapped that 382 target. So that was a beautiful move. Now we're getting a pullback. And we drew it up last night on the 4. Maybe we see a potential crown, right? We'll do it on the 1-2 here. Here's that low that's been taken out. See that? Okay. Maybe we get a pullback and then a move back down. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get a right tip, right? At least a higher right tip, and then a continuation down on that. But mission accomplished on that 382 on the 1. We know that it can move a lot further down off that 4-hour level. Okay, it's just a matter of how far it wants to pull back first. So if we move forward, you can see it's just getting going off the 4-hour. Oh, that's what's here, right? We're still playing around that zone. So it has the potential to further to the downside. But we'll see how it plays out. See how it plays out. So that's the Swiss yen. I want to go into some of these euro pairs. Okay. This is kind of doing the dance for the most part. It's been choppy. You're in the 80-20 zone here. Okay, with this euro Aussie, it's just moving sideways. Okay. Slowly but surely moving up on our stochastic to being overbought, and it's just ranging. Okay, so we'll see if the bottom can fall out and we eventually head to that 382. We know we've already started to make a move, so if we come in here, right? Check it out. You see on the 4, right? How we came in just shy of 382. We hit that daily support, but you can see how it's just doing the dance. Now we've seen it before where it's just moved sideways for a long time in that zone, and then the bottom falls out. So you can see it broke this consolidation range and retested, but now we're right back consolidating. Right? So this is a weird type play. There's better plays out there than the zero Aussie right now, but it's sitting in the zone. Right? So we're just gonna let it do what it wants to do, and it'll eventually figure itself out. Any questions on that euro Aussie? All right.
No.
Okay, that's choppy as all get out there. It's definitely not clean. So Euro CAD, our little subfib pullback didn't win for us, but this is what we look like right from the top. Kind of similar to what's going on with that Euro Aussie. Right. So a little rangy. Right. That's when things get tough a little bit. It's identifying it. Hey, it's choppy, it's in the range. But you can see where that last move we were looking at failed to correct. It hit the D extension, and now we're at this outer trend line, and we've got price making a move off the beat boundary. So we know that oftentimes when we're looking at a fib to correct, we don't get it. The next fib, oftentimes it'll give us that deep correction. So it's looking like it's trying to correct right off that beat boundary now. So we'll see how that's playing out. We know what the larger overall move is, right? Getting to that daily 382 eventually is what we look for long term. But the initial move to the downside was a great one. Then I lost out on the counter move, pulling back. So maybe we'll get that pullback here. Okay. And then of course, just like on the example that we used earlier, here's that 1 hour that got missed. All right, let's zone out. Right. It danced around, and we missed it. It stopped. But now we know we've got a new AB boundary setting up on this 4. This was the 4-hour fit. Let me clean this up a little bit. This, you get this out now. I took that entire move or pulled it down to the 1. Yeah, it's out. That, and we'll drop a 1 hour fib sequence from the top. So we'll see if it'll pull back. It's at this outer trend line. See if it'll pull back some more in this zone before continuing down. But that's where we are on that. So it's a nice ABCD move with the trend there. One. So 1 hour looks a little bit different, but that 4 hour looks like it's trying to reset and move up. So maybe we get it to push back up higher into the zone. We'll continue to watch that. Right. So it's a little tricky. Right. A little tricky. Here's our 4. Right. And then our 1. So maybe we get a push back up to retest the 61.8 area, 50% area, and then back down. We'll see. We'll see what it wants to do. But if we do get it to move back higher, then I'll look to short. That's when I'll take a short opportunity if we get it. So we'll see on that one. Any questions on the Euro CAD? Right. We're trying to get to this 382. Right. We're at the outer trend line now. We're getting a reaction off the daily support. Right. And we've got a little bit of bounce. So maybe we pop back up in the zone. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe we'll get it. Maybe retest some levels and then turn back over. All right. Because I missed this one. Right. This move, waiting for that correction to happen, that larger correction on the 4th. So that's a missed opportunity on that. All right, so that's the Euro CAD. Euro Swissy. Right. So this one, I need this one to turn back over. Because that one just missed target. All right, so we've been short on it, came close to target, we got a bounce. So I'm waiting to see if we can get a break back below this 97.04 level to finish this move out. Right, so we got a decent pullback there, looking for that D extension to be hit. So no new opportunities on that one just yet. Right, I need to see this finish out. So that was a bummer there. Got close. Got close. Questions on the Euro Swiss? Anybody take that short on the Euro Swissy? It's been moving for a while, for quite some time.
No.
No, let that one roll. Okay. So we'll see if we can get it. See if we can get it to finish out. See if we can hold below that 97.36 level. That's a 4 hour level. Continue down. If it continues to move back a little bit higher, I'll probably shut it down. So little salty. I missed that that TP. But anyway, Euro GBP. Okay. All right. This was the right move, right? Once we broke through that range and broke through that low 87.17, look what it did. It just collapsed. All right. It's collapsed. But guess what, everybody? We had the direction right. So when we get that direction right, we can make some money. Right. So here was that move. Right. We was 35 pips for 109, hit target. Okay, hit target. Now we've got a new AB boundary on this thing. All right, so we can eliminate this now. That move is done. Okay. Great job if you played it. I know we don't play it a ton because it's usually moving sideways, but it's moving bearish now. And so, right, if that trend were to continue, we look for a pullback, right? And a continuation or 80-20. Right? You all know this game now. Same thing every day. Right? That's why we show up consistently. Do the same thing every day. till we get it. All right. Once you see it enough, you'll get it. Or okay, it's the same bands. This is a monthly level, right? Smacking our 80-20 zone. Right? So if we get that, we know overall, right? We're really looking at two fairly strong pairs, right? We know that the euro's corrected right now. We know that the pound, right, has been pretty strong. So, but we know we can get to this level and find buyers on that euro. Right? Then we can look to move up to some levels. So you got your trend trade looking for a high price in the short, or if we break that B boundary out there, shallow pullback, we've got an 80-20 opportunity. Okay. So let's continue to be patient with that. Any questions on the Euro GBP?
No.
All right. So let's move on. Okay. What's going on with the Euro JPY? All right. We took a look at this one last night and we hit target on year one. Okay. Hit target at this 382 coming off the 118. Boom. Okay. So being that no shift in the BOJ monetary policy, still ultra loose monetary policy under the Bank of Japan. I would love for the sell-off to continue right down into the sweet spot. Because then I want to look to get long on that euro. Being that the ECB is still pretty hawkish, right? You heard Lagarde speak. We saw the Twitter feeds and the live squawks coming from her speech. It's more work to do, right? To fight inflation. Okay, so something has to break, right? That's what they're aiming for. So if we get to a low price, I'd like to take that long. Okay? I like to take that. So let's see if we can continue to correct. Maybe get a target 2 on a counter move to the downside. And then I'll be looking for signs of a reversal, see if we can get some higher highs and higher lows. That's the Euro JPY in a nutshell, right? So 2 monster corrections for us, right? Correction to the downside long. We're looking for another correction to the downside long on the Euro JPY. That's pretty clean right now. So that's that. So if you're trading that, right, you hit target 1, see if we can get target 2 potentially, or you might be out. If you're out, you're just waiting for a low price now to get long. Euro NZD. Okay. Again, we know, right, that the NZD has not performed well. Okay. Everything's moving long against it. We see here on the weekly, huge bullish week last week, still moving higher this week. Okay. The move off the daily is off our 382. We're coming into resistance. We're at 96% on the stochastic, so we may start to lose some momentum to the upside, which is fine with me because after the trend line break here, which I shifted, but we still haven't gotten a correction. Okay. So beautiful move out of the zone. So if you took it off that capital fib, that's 61.8, you're up big right now. Okay. So you're up big looking for a pullback. You're going to look for a pullback to get back long, right? So you could potentially add to a position. If you haven't taken advantage of this setup yet, then you need that pullback so you can get your initial entry and then look to get long to that extent. So we're looking for a C on this up in essence. Okay. Here's the 1. Right. So whether you're looking at that 4-hour wave or just 1 hour, it's a clean break of the trend line, but we need a deeper price. We need a deeper pullback, lower price, so we can look to buy. All right, that's pretty clean off the break. Doesn't get any better than that. So that's the Euro NZD. And then we'll wrap things up, taking a look at the Euro USD. So we look at it for the daily, overall bullish. So what we want to see is that we know that this is moving on overall. Strong Euro. We've gotten a break here of this trend line. But what we want to see is if this is going to stall here, okay, and make a higher low. Can we make a higher low? Here's a higher low. Is this going to be the higher low? Right? If not, if it continues to press down, we're looking at a double bottom type of situation. Okay. But if we make that higher low in that area, then we look to move bullish. And a lot of that data that's coming out for the dollar could lead towards it moving in that direction. So we see here on this 1 hour fib that we've been tracking, you can see that, yep, we hit TP2 on the counter trend move, right? Been rocking it out, right, this month. Counter trend move, and look how it's just stalling. You see how it's just sitting there? That's what I mean. If we get a low to form on that daily, we already have it here, okay? That could be the foundation of a big move long. Let's see what happens with this US dollar data, debt ceiling, the whole nine. We've gone over it multiple times. So this is where we are at a critical point through TP2. Beautiful move to the downside. I think it's over 400 pips out of that zone. And now we sit and leave it. Now we sit. Can we get the C to D push zone? That's what we're looking for. Can we move into the push zone? Okay. Can we do that? It's gonna take some time. Euro USD setup. Let's wait and see. So that's that, everybody, for this morning. I know we went through a lot of pairs this evening. We will make sure that we get through the pounds, right? New Zealand dollar pairs, to wrap up the week before we move into the ritual. Any questions over anything that we covered this morning?
No.
All right.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Appreciate you all showing up. Stay on top of the markets. That's what we're doing. So we can let the trades come to us. Always systematic about our approach. We're following the process that can help us to become consistently profitable. Thank you for your time, everybody. Have a great day. I'll see you this evening, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Asian session. Bye.